All right, hello there, friends. It is your friend Chris here from Found Humanity, and I decided that I wanted to start doing some low quality, just me talking videos. So that's what this is, and I don't want it to be content. I don't want it to be a machine. So because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and pause and treat this a little bit like a journal to really think about what needs to be said right now. All right, so I'm gonna tell a story, and the story is from junior high school. Me and my friend Sam were at an award ceremony. I guess it was bi-yearly. Throughout the school year, they gave out awards for character and stuff, and academic achievement and sports. And at this particular ceremony, I was getting some award. I don't even remember what specifically it was, but they had told my parents, so my mom and dad were there. I think my sister was there, and they had just arrived. And I was out back, and there was this tree that was next to the auditorium, and me and Sam were climbing this tree, and we'd never climbed it before, and it looked cool. It looked very climbable, and yeah, we started climbing it up, and I grabbed hold of this branch that was the first one I could grab, and it was probably like 8 feet up or something, and latched both arms onto it, and then decided to latch my feet up, both feet onto it. And right as I put all my weight onto it and both my feet were latched around it, and I was about to swing over, it broke. Turns out it was termite infested and almost completely hollow, though it was about that thick. So all of a sudden I'm falling 8 feet towards the ground, and my neck, for whatever reason, was gonna be the first thing that hit. So instead I put my wrist down, and immediately, the bone broke, and it was popping out, and still this left wrist pops out a little bit more and has less flexibility and stuff. And that was my first time falling out of a tree, second time, but the first time I really got injured. The first time I was a kid and a little Gumby, so I fell flat on my back and just stood up and was fine. But that time I broke my wrist, and I was surprised, I had never broken a bone. That was the only bone in my life I've ever broken. And yeah, it was just weird. It was kind of a surreal experience to see your body, out of shape like that. And my adrenaline was pumping. And yeah, that was kind of the first time that's ever happened. But ever since then, I've had a fear of climbing trees, and my balance has just felt very compromised since then. Even though that fall had nothing to do with balance, it was just, that memory got stored in me of like falling out of a tree. And even as I got up here on a branch that's literally about the same size as the one that broke, I felt nervous and afraid to get up here and put all my weight on this branch for the first time. But fast forward to high school, middle of high school, I decided to build a platform in the exact spot where I'm sitting now. Went across to this other branch that's right there, and it was great. It lasted about between 1 and 3 months. I have a terrible memory, so I don't exactly recall how long, but it got taken down after probably probably a couple weeks of working on it. And it makes sense, this is a public tree, and yeah, probably either the gardeners or some kids or their parents took it down, probably the parents. And yeah, but I've always been so drawn to trees. I love the danger. I love the wildness of them. I love oak trees. This is an oak tree. There's just something so like mystical and sacred and ancient feeling about them. The way that they like grow outwards, and not one single oak tree is the same as another. They just look so different, and they're strong and they're sturdy, and they house life in them, like squirrels and ants and caterpillars, and woodpeckers and hawks. And so I recently started adding holds to this tree, little blocks of wood, and this tree is about at least 70 feet high, I would say. And with all the blocks in, I can get to the very top of this tree, and it's so fun. And one of the first times I ever made it up to the very highest point in the tree, or no, it was the second highest point. I was up there, and this hawk just came flying in and landed on a branch probably like 10 or 15 feet away from me. And it just stood there and it looked at me, and we were just hanging out in this tree together. And I just love that. It's like when you're in a tree, it's like you're just a part of nature. You know, there's a pathway, you know, about 100 feet down that way. And whether it's this tree or the one right next to the pathway, you could be up in a tree and, you know, people are walking by and just have no clue you're there. It's like you're just invisible. You're just immersed in this primordial part of the suburbs for me. This is Mission Viejo. And yeah, it's just a return to childhood, I guess, and that simple, pure part of nature. So in that, I guess why I'm talking about trees is because I think there's parts of all of us, maybe I'm projecting, but I think there is a part of all of us that is drawn to that childlike part of us, ourselves, that call to adventure, that curiosity, that exploration. And whether it's trees or some other symbolic thing in your life that reminds you of that, it can be so refreshing at times in life to return to these places and these symbols that remind us of curiosity and of adventure. And there's always this pull, especially in the suburbs and especially in Southern California and Orange County, to where I live, to be like hyper productive and hyper professional and hyper, I don't know, like curating your persona, your public persona. And success here in Orange County looks like being, you know, wealthy and being established in your career, or being, you know, some C-level executive or like a successful entrepreneur or something. And none of that's bad, but it can be exhausting for sure, and it can be so myopic in terms of the fullness of who someone is. And you can get really pigeonholed when you're just like one track focused on being one thing, whether it's successful in a traditional business sense or any other thing that you might put your mind towards. And for me, coming back to this tree reminds me that there are other things in life that are worthwhile, and that I don't have to just do one thing, that I can have this call to adventure and still have other plates that I'm spinning in my life as well. And so for that reason, I recently purchased a tree swing. So I was originally going to build another platform here. Then I thought, it's probably just going to get taken down. And I thought, I could do it way up higher in the tree. And then I thought, if I did that, then eventually some kids would come here and see it, and they'd want to climb to the top, and chances are they'd fall out and get injured, and that's no fun for anyone. So I decided I'm going to put little 2 tree straps in there, and then put like this tree swing type thing on my back. You'll see it in future videos, and I'm so excited because this space, it's part of a park across the street from my parents' house, which I'm now renting as my whole family's in another state now. And it's wonderful to return not just to the house, because I've been in a van for the last year and a half, spare the last like 4 months when I've been living there. But it's been so nice to just return to the house, to reinvent that space and reinterpret it, and then also to return to this sacred space, which is across the street at the park, and be with all these ancient trees. And I'm just so excited to spend time in this reflective, peaceful, curiosity-inducing space. And one other thing I want to mention is that there's for me, I've been out of a traditional job for the last 2 years or so. I quit my job in late May of 2023, and I've been freelancing ever since then, but not putting a whole lot of effort into it, to be honest. I've been enjoying creating some content here and there, but otherwise just doing my own thing. And so I recently got a job, and it starts next week, and I'm really excited about it, but it's part-time, and about 3 months ago I was spending a lot of time meeting with different mentors and friends and trying to get insights into build momentum into a career trajectory that would feel aligned with the bars that I've set for myself in terms of my interests and my vocation and my skill set, and not settling for something that wouldn't align with those things and incorporate enough parts of me to where it would feel justified for me to invest that much time into it. And so I was talking with one mentor, and I was telling him about this treehouse. And mentor, if you're watching this, no shade at all, I totally get your perspective on this, but I mentioned the possibility and my sincere interest in building a treehouse, and I was buying supplies for it, and I'd gone to Home Depot that day and bought a bunch of wood and brackets and stuff, and was planning this build. And this was before I decided to go with the tree swing. And when I told him that, the immediate reaction was, discouragement, I guess. Not that he was discouraged about me, but he didn't see, it made it seem like it wasn't a good idea to do that. And my excitement was not met with understanding. It was kind of met with a little bit of, not resistance, but like, are you sure you want to be doing that? And it wasn't so much a verbal response, I would say. And so in that, I realized sometimes you're not meant to be understood by everyone, and that is part of authenticity, and that is part of staying true to what you know you need to do. And so for me, being unemployed for 2 years was something that I really needed to do, and waiting to find a job that really aligns with me was something that I really needed to do as well. And building a treehouse and having this space and filming videos in a tree using really low quality stuff is part of it. It's like the part of it. I really feel like this is gonna be not just therapeutic for me, but it'll help refine my voice, and it'll help me figure out ways to contribute my voice and my experiences and my knowledge and my whatever I have to offer the world through the internet, through talking to a camera. And whether that's a small impact or reaches a small amount of people, or whether that grows, doesn't so much matter. It just feels like something I need to do. And and that's a little bit scary, just like sitting on this branch and just like climbing trees and falling out of them, and like telling a mentor that you're going to build a tree house when you should be applying for jobs, and he tells you that's a stupid idea. So cheers to the stupid ideas, everybody. Like, if you're not doing shit that excites you, what are you doing? I really feel strongly about that. Like, go climb a fucking tree, go jump in the ocean, go do something that connects you to the part of you that is curious about what it means to be your version of human, something that brings you alive. I just noticed my phone's being held up by either a lemon or a grapefruit. I'm not sure which. It smells like a grapefruit, so it's probably a grapefruit. But I found that on my run today, and it was like falling off a grapefruit tree in someone's yard outside their property, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna take that. So I ran like half my run with a grapefruit in my hand and a gold fork, because I found a gold fork on the ground. So I don't know, stuff like that, where it's like, it doesn't have to make sense, but you can do it anyways if it brings some excitement to your day. And so yeah, just, this is permission. This video is permission for you to find your tree, find the thing that brings you some joy in your day, some excitement, reconnects you with a version of yourself that you like, and the one that feels peaceful and at ease in the world. And yeah, just excited to be alive. and it doesn't have to make sense to people. In fact, if it makes sense to everyone, then you're probably not, tapping into your own uniqueness. So that's my spiel, and hopefully next time you see me up here, it'll be in a tree swing, and it'll be about 50 feet higher than I am right now. So I look forward to seeing you then. Have a wonderful and adventurous day, everybody. Talk to you soon.